Cancel.
Schweezy.
A Kansas City prayer room. A Kansas City ministry with ties to Mike Bickle celebrates 25th anniversary of IHOPKC despite sex abuse scandal. And this from the Roy's Report. We're talking about Mike Bickle again. He's back. A Kansas City prayer room with ties to disgraced International House of Prayer Kansas City founder Mike Bickle gathered Tuesday to celebrate the 25th anniversary of IHOPKC's despite the ministry's ongoing sex abuse scandal. Hope City, a prayer room, community center, and church, is led by Bickle's sister, Lisa Stribling, and her husband, Ray. According to a leaked recording of the ceremony, Lisa Stribling and her son, Richie Bickle, spoke at the event. Stribling praised Bickle and upheld the so-called prophetic history of IHOPKC as a reason to keep the 24/7 prayer ministry going. Doesn't matter if the lights are out and we have a candle, we're going to be praying for revival until we see the things we've bled for come to pass, said Stribling. The event, which gathered more than 100 people, also featured videos of disgraced prophet Bob Jones and Mike Bickle explaining the prophetic history of IHOPKC. Bickle claims that in 1982, God told Bickle that he would change the understanding and expression of Christianity in one generation. The next year, Jones reportedly came to Bickle with a message from God that Bickle would lead young adults in a prayer and worship movement with strong ties to Asia. IHOPKC was officially formed more than a decade later on May 7th, 1999. Leading worship for the Hope City event was Misty Edwards, who reportedly confessed in 2021 to a year-long affair with former IHOPKC staffer Brent Steno. Edwards told him the affair began around 2014 when Prosh was still married to Bickle's sister, Shelley Bickle. There's a lot going on, dude. Misty Edwards, I can't even get into that. I'm too wrapped up in Mike Bickle. Mike Bickle did not attend the service, according to former IHOPKC student Rich Matthews, who was at the ceremony, but Bickle's wife Diane Bickle and sons Luke and Paul Bickle were there. Matthews told the Roy's Report. No one stated that Bickle has been accused of sexually abusing multiple women, including 2 who were minors. I'm reading this again. No one stated that Bickle has been accused of sexually abusing multiple women, including 2 who were minors, according to the recording of the service obtained by the Roy's Report. But Pastor Ray Mabian of Bethlehem Kingdom Center claimed at Hope City that Satan had tried to cut off IHOPKC's head because of the global influence the prayer movement has had. Because of the prayers that had gone forth in this city, the enemy tried to come and destroy the tabernacle of faith. Mabian said the enemy tried to come and he tried to cut the head off of what God has done in prayer. But I tell you this right now, it's not going to be forgotten. You can try to cut the head, but the head is not going to drop. It's going to keep right on going because that's what God is doing, is going to bring forth his purposes in Kansas City. Let's see, I'm just going through here, just Richie Bickle talking, a woman who gave a testimony talking to Bickle's family sacrifice, woman's like talking about his sacrifices. I just want to take a minute now and say thank you to the Bickle family. The woman said, I just want to say to the Bickles, thank you for the way you laid your life down. Thank you so much for just being faithful to the Lord, because it has not only affected your family and a city, but I believe it affected a generation. IHOP has previously stated that he has permanently separated from Mike Bickle, but Matthews, a former IHOPKC student, told the Roy's Report he believed this ceremony called that into question. The idea that IHOP is in any way clearly and permanently separated from Mike Bickle is absolutely ridiculous, Matthews said. The prophetic history was very soundly and strongly emphasized as a primary motivating factor for continuing. Last Sunday, IHOPKC's Forerunner Church pastor Isaac Bennett likewise mentioned the prophetic history in his sermon. Bennett urged the church to hold onto this history in the midst of not knowing what building we're in or the name of the ministry. We're sitting here today seeing promises that have come to pass before our eyes, Bennett said. We can't step away from this. I know that there's confusion. I know that there's pressure. The reason that we're standing for God's purpose isn't because of IHOPKC or Bob Jones or Mike Bickle. It's because it's in the Word of God. So I think that's as much that we need to read. Remember when they went like 1 week? It was like a week. They're like, sorry guys, we're gonna do better, and then just didn't do anything to do better and just are trying to continue with their scams and shit like that. Remember that time they tried to do better? Oh, what a saw! This hasn't even been going on like a year, has it? Like it started the end of October 23, right? We're in May. We're still talking about this dude. Like he won't shut up. He keeps giving us more and more information. Like we keep finding more. We're just like, maybe we should let it go. And then we're just like, we keep finding more shit. Like we keep finding more. I'm just like looking here. I'm just in wow. Just we know we have the proof. Mike Bickle did this. Like more people keep coming forward, giving like very good, accurate stories. Like they've been fact checked, and it's just like little small details that are fact checked. Is like, yeah, I was a student at this, and my parents were friends with Mike Bickle, and he would babysit us. And then, like you dig into it, then you find like the parents' testimony. Like, yes, we used to hire Mike to babysit our daughter, and then. And they're like, yeah, here's a picture of us with the family. And we're like, yeah, this is real. Like, he did that shit, And, like, the fact that they're finding, like, written emails or letters or whatever with Mike Bickle. I'm like, can you please defend me, like, to the women he abused? I'm like, come on, dude. Like, because, like, he knows he's guilty. Because he knows he did it. And, like, he's gone so long getting away with it. He's, like, eventually... like you do something risky and then you try it once and you're like, okay. And then you try it again and you're like, okay. And you try it a third time, it's like, okay. And like no one's been like, hey, stop that. Hey, dude, knock that shit off, and just keep doing it. And you're like, I guess there's nothing wrong with doing this. And then you just keep fucking doing it. It's just... So like if you're new to the Mike Bickle, basically, the story goes he was in Egypt on a mission retreat. He had the day off, and I don't know. He's doing. He seems like the type of guy who does like resort ministries. I'm assuming that's what it was. It was at a resort or some shit like that. And apparently, he had a prophecy from God, being like, "You need to build the next tabernacle in Kansas City." And then he's like, "Okay," and then he did that, and then. And if it was just that, I think people would be, I'm like, okay, maybe this guy's on something. Maybe he has something, It's one of those things like, maybe he has, that's what I was like with Tom DeLonge and Aliens for the longest time. I'm like, like I can't be the one to say aliens don't exist, but, if Tom's working to prove that, and, that we do, there's probably aliens or whatever, and what should we tell the public about everything, he's just like, let's see what happens, It's like, I don't know if they're going to find anything, That's just, But I'm not a gambler, so I can't tell you. So, but, yeah, this is that. But then he just started, and then the problems is he started abusing women, and he would make up shit like, God told me you're going to be my next wife. He sent me a prophecy. And, using logic and reason is saying that, he created this whole con artist thing out of being a prophet, like, and people believe in Jesus, and you can muster up enough evidence to prove like Jesus existed and he died for you and he rose from the dead. Like you can work that out logically in your head and all that stuff. Like, you couldn't necessarily say how he rose from the dead or whatever, but you can at least say like, they're like, and they say like 600 people saw him, it's like, that's a lot of people. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense, you can't get like 600 people in a room to say they saw something and they all have the same story, I don't know. But he would just use that, God told me you're going to be my next wife, so I have to start touching you. It's like, dude. And just knowing, like, if he's abusing that power for that, because, like, he's clearly making it up. God's not like, if there is a God, I doubt he'd be like, touch that little girl. I'm pretty sure he would be like, don't touch that little girl. That would not be good. That's how God would talk. So I imagine God would talk to people and be like, don't touch that little girl. And just be like, it's like me around kids. Just don't touch that. That's how I imagine it. But anyways, though, what have we learned here today on this? That this whole prophecy thing, if we've learned anything, they're trying to hide the sex abuse, and they're trying to cover it up with, oh yeah, but these prophecies are real though. And if you haven't dug into the story like I have, I'm here to tell you, he would use prophecies for his abuse. And I don't think that was cool, you know? And to me, that just proves he was a con artist, you know, like and it's not uncommon for a pastor to even think for themselves, like, you know, you're a young pastor, you know, and maybe you're an associate pastor at a church or whatever, and you're just like, okay, if you don't, it's kind of a situation where like this head pastor is going to be there a while. I would like to be the head pastor, or I'd like to be a head pastor. So the best option would be, hey, why don't I, you would have to leave the church. You know, you don't have to leave on bad notes or anything. You just be like, I'm going to go plant a church. You know, you'd either plant it or become the head pastor, like a place with an opening or whatever. And so, you know, you could do that. And so, like, his probably idea was like, I'm going to plant a church, but how am I going to sell it to everyone? And then that's how you get into all these cons and shit like that. That's how Christianity got into cons, you know. Famous cult leader, L. Ron Hubbard, said that if you want to make money, start a religion, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing someone else on what they said. And, yeah, it just sounds like he realized, being a pastor, that he could make a lot of money doing it and manipulate a lot of people into doing whatever you wanted them to do. And, you know, like, you can manipulate someone to do a lot of things if you have a lot of money. Why don't you just do that? I don't know. Like, it's one thing, like a pastor goes to see prostitutes, like the cheating on they usually have wives. Cheating on the wives is the bad thing, but like him going to the prostitute, it's not that bad. Like, that's a forgivable thing, you know. It's just the fact that he cheated, you know. And yeah, this dude is the scum of the earth. But I'd love to talk to you, Mike. If you ever want to come and we do an interview, we can just do it on Zoom or something. You know, we can always do that. But yeah, Mike. First of all,
can anybody tell me what can I do with these ladybugs?
We'll be right back. Thank you for watching this clip. Watch it again or watch something else.